So let's get started with a brief explanation about Claude Code, what it is. So Claude Code is an AI coding agent, and the word agent is very important here. So let me explain about it a little bit. I think most of you have been using the chatbot quite a while, like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude AI, and with the regular chatbot, you can use them to generate the content like code or image or an essay, but you have to copy and pass the code into your IDE, and you need to run the code manually. However, an AI coding agent is a totally different thing. An agent can actually read your files in your project, and it can create files in folder. It can run commands in terminal to install the new packages and the library, and it can run your code to test, and it can find the error and automatically fix the error. It's not just about creating content, it's actually doing the work. And let's start with some example for how you can use Claude Code in some use case, and then I will explain the Claude Code feature along the way. So let's get started with GitHub. Okay, so let's say you find a GitHub repo. You try to read the code, but you do not understand it, and you are not sure about what the code has been doing. So you can do like this. Let's say I want to create space. Okay, I have created, but I want to delete those. So let's say you create a new folder. So you can clone the GitHub repo, and then I want to copy this address as text. Then I run a command line Windows. You can use terminal if you are using Mac or Linux. Then cd means change directory, so I want to change to that directory, but I also want to change the volume to D, and then want to clear the screen. Maybe not me. Okay, so I have this folder, and then I want to clone this GitHub repo. So git clone this repo. So right now we have the GitHub repo here. Then the next thing will be open your Visual Studio, and then file, open folder, and then browse to the workspace, test GitHub. Let's open this folder, select folder. Let's close this, and then let's say if you have not logged into your Claude Code after installing the extension here, Claude Code, and you have not logged into your account, then you will see something like this. Let's say login. You will see something like this, and then you can click on the first button, Claude AI subscription, and then you can click on open. It will open the new window on a browser, and then you can click on authorize. So now it works. And please note that you need to log into Claude.ai first. And if you have not logged into Claude.ai, then you need, and you also need a subscription, a paid account, so you can use Claude.ai. You need to pay minimum $20 per month for the plus subscription, so you can use Claude Code. And you can close this one and reopen the project here. Then this is the chat interface. Because I have codec, so I have two different things, but we are going to use Claude Code. And then you can do something like ask it to read the code base. Please read the code base to understand what it does and explain the project structure. Explain it to me, something like this. And then it will take a while for the AI to read the whole code base, to understand it, and then it will explain everything to you. Okay, it requires me to install C extension because this repo has been written in C, but let's skip for now. So depending on how big the code base is, then it may take a few minutes or maybe 15 minutes to go through everything. And remember that if your code base is very big, then it will cost a lot of token. And what is token? You can just imagine like it works, it's a token. It is not works like that, but you can imagine like that. A token is some character. Then when it reads through the whole thing, then it will send the code to Claude, and it will code some tokens. You can see how many tokens have been used by writing / and use it. So here I have been using 3% of the session, and the session will be reset every 5 hours. And if I spend the whole session limit here, then it won't let me to use Claude Code anymore unless I pay extra usage for that. And let me show you how it works. You can log into Claude.ai and then click on, where is it? On the top. Okay, usage here. You can also see your planned usage limit. So every 5 hours it has the session limit, and you also have the weekly limit. So if you spend the whole session limit here, then you need to wait for, let's say, 4 hours 30 minutes to get the session limit reset, and then you can continue to use it again. And if you reach to the weekly limit, then you need to wait for a whole week. So for my weekly limit, it will be reset on Wednesday. And if you spend either session limit or if you reach to either session limit or weekly limit, and you want to continue your work because it is urgent, then you can use the extra usage, and you need to deposit some amount into your account in order to use this feature. And you just turn on this, turn off. You can turn on this, and when you reach to the limit, then it will automatically charge the extra usage. But I won't recommend to use this because it's very expensive. Imagine that I use it for only 1 hour, and it cost me more than $21. And imagine that I need to pay only 100 for a whole month for those limit, and then I just use for 1 hour, and I need to pay $21. It just doesn't worth the money. So anyway, now it's finished reading, and it shows some explanation here, like what the game is, and the entry points, architecture, and the key files, what each files has been doing, and so on and so forth. So this is one way to understand the code base, and the other way, I think it is better. Then you can just use this command init. So when you run init, it will automatically read through the code base, try to understand what the code does, and then it will create a new file, so-called Claude.md. This is the backbone of each Claude Code project, because in the Claude.md it will include everything that a chatbot needs to know about your project, like the project structure, the technical stack, and how the code works, and the coding rules, and the testing rule, everything that you want Claude Code remember, then it will be included into Claude Code. And every time you start a new conversation with Claude Code, then the file Claude.md will be automatically loaded into memory, so it can have the context about your project. So when you ask something specifically about your project, because it already understand your project, then it can answer correctly. So now it's finished, and you can see a new file has been created, Claude.md, and I will switch to, you can click on this icon to review the Claude.md. So Claude.md will include the build, entry points, dependencies, architecture, so on and so forth, and you can add it, you can modify it to serve your purpose. For example, here it doesn't include let's say the coding rule, but we will talk about it later. So for now, you have the Claude.md, and every time you start a new conversation, here it is the conversation history. So right now you have 1, 2 conversations. This one, I think this one is for the init, and this one, when we ask it to read the code and try to understand it. Let's say we start a fresh conversation, and if this is the regular chatbot, when you start a fresh conversation like this, it will understand nothing about you or your project. But in this case, when you start fresh conversation, it will automatically load Claude.md, so it understands your project, and you can ask something about your project, it can respond quickly. But please remember that Claude.md also codes token, so our goal is trying to keep it short and concise, and Anthropic recommend that the Claude.md should be limited in 200 slides, and if you need more content to add into Claude.md, then you should split it into separate files through subfolder. Let's say you have a front end and a back end in your project, then you can create a new folder, say front end, and then you put the code for your front end in this folder, and inside this folder you can create a new Claude.md with the same name, and in this Claude.md you will include only for the front end. And similarly, you can create a new folder, backend, to store your code for the backend, and you also add a new Claude.md inside the backend, and that Claude.md only contains the information for the backend module here. And then for the main Claude.md here, it just contains the information for the project in general, and everything specifically designed for front end will not be included in the main Claude.md here, but you will add something like for the front end details, please go to front end and reveal the Claude.md in front end, and similarly for the backend. So right now we have Claude.md, and Claude Code has already understood your code. So for now, let's say you want to create the same game here, but you don't want to use C and OpenGL, but you want it to be HTML and JavaScript. Then you can do something like this. Please write a new game in HTML and HTML JavaScript. New game using HTML, JavaScript, CSS. Follow CSS similar to this code base. It will read the code base again, and it will write a new game as your requires. It has been done within around like 10 minutes or so. So as you can see that we have a new folder here, Claude Web, and let's try it to see how it works, because it is a web game using HTML, so we can open it on the browser, Google Chrome. Okay, here is the game, so we just move. Okay, it works. So the goal is moving the recipe to the gate here, and then let's say solve to see if it works correctly. So it seems that the game is working. I'm not sure how long it can be finished. I think about 70 or so, 70 steps or so, then it will be done. Yay! Finished. So in 116 moves. Okay, so the game is working, and let's say reset. Okay, it's working. So as you can see that Claude Code is not only understand the code, but it can help you to modify the code, and I think this is a good way for you to download some GitHub repo, try to understand how it works, and then improve it later. And if you at first play, if you download the GitHub repo, and then you run init, and then you still want to explore and you want to understand more about the project, you can ask the question like how did you process the moving fetcher I mean, you know, when you move a piece, and then we'll explain clearly. Okay, input layer, track direction, and then some calculation, and then so it will explain everything clearly. And this is the first use case of Claude Code. Let's move on to the next one. So the next use case will be using Claude Code for a research purpose, and I have created this folder, test research, and I have let's say I have this new paper. Let's open it in Chrome. So I have this research paper. I read through it and I understand the algorithm here, but I don't know how to implement this algorithm and how to run the experiment mentioned in this paper. Then what you need to do is that downloading this paper and then put into a new folder. Let's say this is your project folder, and you create a docs folder to store your document, and you put the paper here, the PDF file here, and then this data is the data set that you want to run the algorithm on this data set. So you just copy the data set and put into this folder. Then let's open Claude Code. Where is it? Here. Okay, so open a new window and then span it, then find open folder, and then browse to that folder in D workspace, test research. Select this folder. So in this case you don't run init because you don't have anything, you don't have any code in this folder for Claude Code to explore and understand it. So you can say something like, please read the research paper in the docs folder carefully and explain to me what it is about. Okay, let's do that. So right now it has been done the task. It has been reading through the paper and understanding the paper, and it explains the paper here. And if you do not understand something, you can ask it to clarify. Let's say you don't have, you do not understand what this means. Please explain this further in details. Okay, in details. Okay, then it will again explaining this section more carefully so you can understand it. And you should make sure that you understand the paper in details, because AI can make mistake, and if you do not understand the paper, you do not understand the algorithm, and when the AI makes some mistake, then you cannot realize the mistake, and that would be a big trouble. When you understand everything clearly, then you can ask it to write code. Please write a new module, because module in the code in the project folder to implement the LG code train in the paper. We want to run this LG code train using the data set in the data folder, and this is very important. Please try to match your algorithm to the paper as close as possible. If there is any deviation, please confirm with me first, and you need to note carefully that for any decision, please confirm with me. Never assign a default value without asking. Never make a decision without confirming. Why you need to do this? Because if you don't put this score, then sometimes the AI may make up the information and include into the implementation, and if you don't read the code carefully, then maybe the implementation is not exactly like what has been described in the paper. And if you go carefully like this, whenever it make a decision, then it will ask you your approval before apply that decision into the code, and then you can enter, and then it will write the code that follow the instruction and follow the implementation in the paper. So after a few minutes, it's finished running, and because we asked Claude code to confirm with us for every decision, then it lists a lot of decision here for you to choose and for you to confirm. So it would be annoying if you code like this, because you have to answer each question separately through chat. So there is a better way to finish this task. Is that using the different modes. As you can see that you have several modes here. As before edit, which means that every time Claude code modify a file or removing a file, it will ask you first, and edit automatically, which is the mode that we have been using from the beginning up to this point. It will automatically edit the code without asking us. And the plain mode is is a very useful mode. So for every big task that involve multiple files, then you should use blend mode. Every complicated task should be used in blend mode. In the auto mode, it's like allow Claude Code automatically switching between these mode, and I don't think you should use this one, because when you use auto mode, you let Claude Code to decide which task is important and need to be switched to blend mode, and which task can be done automatically. And it's very dangerous to let the AI decide what is important, what is not, because something is important to you may not be very important to the AI. So I think the best practice is that you control everything and do not allow the AI to decide anything without your consent first. So let's say you want the blend mode. You click to blend mode and please create a plan for this implementation. As you can see that we use a very vague from here. What is this implementation? Claude Code can remember through the whole conversation from the beginning to the end, because everything that you told to Claude Code and everything it responds to you will be included in the context. And Claude Code will allow 1 million contexts for each conversation, and when you reach to the limit, then the context will be compressed. Compressed means that, let's say you had 10,000 words in the whole conversation, and when you reach to the limit, then it will compress 1,000 words into a summarized document, maybe 100 words. Then some information, some details may be lost during the compressions, and we call that context sliding. Context sliding means that something you tell it something important during the conversation may be forget, and then when it has been compressed many times, then it will lose a lot of important information. So at the end of the day, what the Claude Code understand about what you want to do and what the project is about may be sliding to a very different thing, and it may write the code that far away from what you want to do. So to avoid that happen, you should never reach to the limit of the conversation context. When you reach to about more than 50% of the limit, it will show a circle. So as you can see here, when it has something that needs to be confirmed with you, then it will show the survey here, and you can choose what you want. Let's say humanitarian 5 class, image, text only, text image only, one of them, or maybe just this one. Okay, birthday, character, model, tweet. Back to the context sliding. So when you reach to let's say 50% of the limit, then it will show a circle here, and when you reach to about 70% of the limit, then it's highly recommended that you should conclude the conversation and start a fresh conversation. So if you are working on the feature and you have not finished yet, then you should add this to summarize the important points and show you what has been summarized using the plain mode. So it will show you the plain that lists everything that need to be summarized. Then you can add that to cloudcode.md. So when you start a fresh conversation, it will include the new important part from your previous conversation, and you can continue with that. So after a while, maybe 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how complicated the algorithm is, then it finishes the implementation plan, and it shows you the plan here. Never ever accept the plan without reading this carefully, because as I said previously, AI can make mistake, and it makes mistake regularly. So be careful. For this plan, you need to read it carefully to see if everything here is actually what you want, and you can try to find if there is anything that need to be modified, and you can keep planning and add it to modify that part. And if when you read the plan and there is something that makes you confused, let's say this one make you confused, you do not understand this clearly, then you can copy the whole thing here and then keep planning and then add this to verify, to explain further on this part, to see if this design is what you want or not. And when you finish working on the plan and make sure that everything are correct and reflect your original idea, then you can yes accept or yes manually approve it. If you choose the first one, then it will just follow this plan and write the implementation. And if you choose the second choice, then it will sometimes ask your confirmation before doing something. And usually when I see that there is no trouble in the plan, then I choose this one, because usually I need to modify the plan like quite a few times before approving it. So when I approve, I am pretty sure that everything should work correctly, so I choose number 1, and then it will follow the plan and automatically write the plan. But please remember that when you accept the plan and start to writing code, and then you create a new plan for something else, then the old plan may be overwritten or maybe removed from your system. So if you want to store the plan for future reference, then you should add Claude Code to back up the plan into your projects folder. You can create like reference folder, and then every time you create a new plan and you happy with it, then you can add Claude Code. Then please create a copy of this plan and save it into the reference folder for the future reference. So I think that's it for the research purpose. The next thing I want to show you is another tool called Antigravity, and the way you install Antigravity is similar to Claude Code. You will search Antigravity from Google, and then click on this, and then you click download, and then download for Windows. You can click on this, and then after downloading the file, you can run it to install and Google Antigravity. After that, you will have this very similar to Claude Code, but this for Antigravity. And then you also need to log in, and it's very similar to what you do with Claude Code. So I will not show the demonstration here. And then let's say you have the Antigravity ready, then open folder and browse to, let's say, browse to this one, workspace. Okay, Antigravity. I have created folder. It has a web app inside this folder, and then open this. So here is the code inside this folder. It is a web application, and let's say I want to show you the feature on Antigravity that Claude Code cannot do. So let's say, please start the dev server and open a browser window to test the web app feature. Let's see what it can do. Oh, and in Claude Code you can choose to use between different models using this button. Click on that. So you can click on this and choose switch model. Why? Okay, because it's still running. Let's try with another project. Let's say you click on this and switch model, then it will allow you to choose between different models, but all of this model come from Anthropic, and the Opus is the best model, but it costs a lot of tokens, and this one is a middle one, and this one is the worst one. So for coding, I would recommend you to use the Opus if you have enough tokens. And another option is that the effort in thinking. So if you switch to high, then it costs a lot of token, but it may think very carefully, and the performance is usually better. And if you use low effort, then it will thinking just a little bit for every question you ask, and then the response may not be very good. So I usually use this extra high or high just because my limit is very high, so I usually don't worry much about the limit tokens. Let's go back to Antigravity. Antigravity support multiple AI model here, and you can use Gemini or Claude or GPT. And please remember that the Claude Opus here is different with the Claude from Claude Code, because the limit tokens here is only 200,000 tokens, Comparing to Claude Code, it supports 1 million tokens. So the number of context tokens on Antigravity is lower. Therefore, it can capture less context during the conversation. So let's start with the command to see how it works. Okay, so it want to run this command and it asks if you approve or not. Let approve, so it will run this. Activate the virtual environment, then run application.py and waiting. Okay, check command status. The server is running good. Then open. Okay, so it's open the window here. Let me adjust the size so you can see both. Okay, as you can see that it automatically run the dev server, and then it automatically open the browser here to access the local host server here, and then it try to log in into this web application. So now it say not a first time user. We can add this, please create an admin user, then log in to the app and test the app fetcher. So it will read the code base to find how to create an admin account, and then it will run that to create an admin account, and then use that admin account to log into this website, and then it will test the fetcher. Okay, allow it to run this to create an admin account. Let's say, okay, maybe there is something wrong, so we try a different approach. Okay, admin user created successfully. Now let me log in and test the app fetchers. Let's see if it can do it or not. See, it can enter the admin username and password, and click on login, and let's introduce the width. Okay, then it will test the other feature, like create a paper. It click on the button, and then it will fill the name, the description, and create a new paper like this, and create a method, so on and so forth. It can interact with the website on the browser, and then it will test its fetcher, and then it will capture the screenshot, and then it will analyze if there is any error, and maybe it will respond with a message on how to fix that error, or maybe it can fix automatically. I'm not sure, because I have not been using this Antigravity. I just tried yesterday, and I think it's very interesting to show this feature with all of you, so you can try to explore it. And please note that Antigravity is currently free, so you can try it without worrying about paying at the first place. But I believe that it should be some limit for users. For me, because I have Google Gemini subscription, so I can use it freely here. But I'm not sure with the free account what would be the limit. So you can try it and see how it works. So I think I should stop here. So you can stop anytime, just press the stop button. Stop. Okay.